Whoa, you guys, we're in Unit 4. We're learning all about investments in the stock market. Today we're going to learn about mutual funds. But before we get there, we're going to travel back in time. Why? Because I said so. These are from Windows 95, and I want to give you a style of lecture that I grew up with about 20 years ago. That's right. Mutual funds. Hold on just a second. That's right. Having trouble hearing me? That's how my first lecture that I learned how to take notes in. Just this loud, 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 loud. Okay, I'm going to stop. Okay, so when I was your age and I was in economics, I had this teacher named Coach Love, and he would go and do these lectures where it would do these crazy noises, and then you were trying to take notes at the same time. Pretty crazy. Mutual funds, speaking of, is a pool of money provided by many investors and given to professional financial manager that invests money into different investments. Profits are proportionally distributed amongst the investors based on how much they invested. This was one of my favorite clip arts. So, professional financial manager is an individual who manage the mutual funds by picking stocks and bonds. They research the market and make decisions based on the goals of the investor. See, he's super scared. Goals of the investor. So you have aggressive growth. It's exactly what it sounds like. What type of stock would a fund manager invest in? Long-term steady growth. What type of stocks would a fund manager invest in? Okay, so when you think of long-term, aggressive, they're going to be different, right? Moderate growth. What do you think? What types of stocks would a fund manager invest in? So let's look at mutual fund advantages. So portfolio diversification, meaning differences. All of your eggs aren't in one basket, because if you drop the basket, uh-oh. It's managed by a professional, educated, experienced person in charge of the funds. Now, has some more advantages. Convenience. You don't need to worry about it. Somebody else is handling it. And liquidity. It's the ability to buy or sell an item. What are the disadvantages? This happens to be my all-time favorite clip art, just in case you're wondering. It's less risk, but less potential for reward. Let me say that again. It's less risk, but less potential for reward. Have to pay different costs for mutual funds, including you got to pay the person managing your fund, the financial manager. Oh man. Bond. James Bond. Dun, 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 dun. That's like James Bond music, right? I know. Bonds. James Bonds. Sorry, I already did that joke. When the government or a business needs to borrow money for long periods, it issues bonds. So consumers are going to buy bonds, giving the loan. We learned about this last week in Crash Course. These bonds earning interest over time. That's a different James Bond. That's Pierce Brosnan. He wasn't that bad of a James Bond. So bonds have three parts. You have the coupon, which is the interest on the bond. Maturity, when the bond is paid back. And then you have the par value. How much is it worth? Hey, that's the best James Bond of all time. Sean Connery. Bond ratings. Bonds are rated. Deep thoughts from Amy. So you have major corporations that rate bonds. So you have Standard & Poor's 500. We already learned about that last week. Moody's Analytics. And if you see somebody has a AAA rating, that is a good bond rating. Versus a D, that's a bad bond rating. you have different types of bonds as well. So you have corporate bonds, municipal bonds, and government savings bond. You also have treasury notes and bonds. So what's a corporate bond? Real simple. So it ranges in par value from $1,000 to $10,000. If rated low, it's called a junk bond due to high risk. And it also happens to be taxable. Municipal bonds. Municipal is a word that means city, just to let you know. Issued to state and local governments. It is a safe bet. It is tax exempt, meaning you don't have to pay taxes on it. Government savings bond. So it's sold for a fraction of its maturity price. So $25 bond is going to equal $50 when it's paid. That's pretty good. You just have to wait for a while. It is a very, very safe bet. Treasury notes and bonds. Treasury notes mature in 2 to 10 years. Treasury bonds mature in 10 to 30 years. So you're not going to get your money back anytime soon. It's the safest of all financial assets. You know that it's going to be there. You know that you know. It also happens to be the lowest reward. You're not going to make that much money back. Oh man, this guy's great too though. All right, on to financial markets. Alrighty, saving money. When you save money, you don't spend it. This money becomes your savings. Banks loan your savings to other people. Banks need you to have savings in order to give loans to make the economy grow. Financial system is a network of investors, savers, and financial institutions like banks. We learned about this last week. So how does this work? You have a saver, you have a bank, an investor, and borrower. And this is the circular flow of funds. So a saver, this guy, is going to put money into the bank. So the bank now has $50, right? Then you have a borrower. I would like a loan, a $40 loan. And the bank still has $10. So a borrower takes a loan from the bank to invest. I just made $100 from my cupcake business. Time to pay back my loan, right? So you have our borrower is going to return the money plus interest. So borrowed 40, but you know what? It had a really bad deal with the bank. So that'll be 70. I need my savings to go to college. Notice I spelled it right. C-O-L-L-E-G-E, not collage, friends. The bank returns the original savings and puts a small amount of interest, keeps the extra. So the bank, right, has given back, but the bank has now made $29.50. So is that a ton of money? No, but it's enough to keep the bank going. All right, financial assets. Anything that represents a claim to a property. So you have a certificate of deposit. You gave a bank money. When you give money to someone who then provides a loan, they are a financial intermediary. This guy right there. So you have the saver that is going to put their money into the bank, and then you have the borrower who's going to borrow money from the bank. Non-bank financial intermediaries. So you have finance companies, firms specializing in making loans directly to consumers. Helps people to buy expensive items. It also helps people go into really bad debt. So buyer beware. Non-bank financial intermediaries. It's really hard for me to say that. Life insurance company. So you pay money to the family of a deceased person, and it requires a premium and upfront cost. So that's what a premium is, an upfront cost. Also needs monthly payments. Insurance companies lend surplus funds to other people. Mutual funds. Company that sells stock in itself. So it takes investor money and then reinvests it. People who give money to a mutual fund receive dividends based upon the mutual fund's returns. This is a great way to invest. Then you have pension funds. A pension is a regular payment someone receives after retiring. Over the course of a worker's lifetime, they will pay into a pension fund. The money will be invested into corporate stocks and bonds. The dividends paid back on these stocks will help the pension fund grow. You also have real estate investment trusts, so it provides loans to companies that build homes. Billions are given annually for this purpose. Like my skyline? See anything? No, it's the same skyline again and again and again. All right, on to the last part, retirement. I'm going to be using the movie Up, the saddest movie of all time. Oh my gosh, I was bawling after the first 10 minutes. Anyway, I'm going to do that in order to teach you about retirement. So, you have saving and planning for retirement should start now. When? Now. That's right. So, you have all these different things. Yes, you might get Social Security benefits, but it's going to be bankrupt. I'm just going to let you know. I'm calling it right here. Selikoff 2019 says you're not going to get your retirement benefits from Social Security. Just telling you, make plans, kids. So, you have savings, certificate of deposits. That's what CD stands for. 401k, IRA, Roth IRA, and investment is what we're going to be going over. So security benefits, Social Security benefits, should not be the only thing you rely on for your retirement. Usually not enough to cover living expenses. It's usually only a couple $100s a month. Savings usually requires small minimum deposits in savings accounts. Can be accessed at any time. Banks usually give 1%, less than 1% interest annually. Many popular banks give 0.01%. So just let you know, you don't get a whole bunch of money if you just leave your money in savings account. CD, certificate of deposit. Higher interest than savings accounts. Higher minimum deposits required. Can't be accessed right away. It's good for saving for a purpose. So if you're like, hey, I want to save up for this, it's a great way to do it. Investment. Important to have a diverse portfolio. Again, you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. So you have a combination of stocks and bonds. 401k. So that's usually provided by an employer. It's tax deferred, meaning you'll pay taxes later. Individual pension fund for employees. 80% of employers will actually match what you put in. The money gets invested into stocks and bonds. Now, if you take out early, there are penalties. Individual retirement account, IRA. So this is long term. It's tax sheltered deposit. Up to $5,000 a year can be deposited, and this money gets invested. You have to start taking it out by the age of 70.5. Now, then you have a Roth IRA. It's different than an IRA because you get a tax break on money that's withdrawn. So you can only contribute if you make less than $125,000 a year or $183,000 a year for a married couple. And it's never too early to start planning for retirement. Remember to make your money work for you. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day. See y'all later.